I have always loved a parade. From that very first Memorial Day parade my parents took me to as a very young kid, the bands, the soldiers, the military vehicles. 2 years later, marching in that same parade as a member of the Salamanca High School Band. 2 years after graduation, when I used to help with the band as they went on parade, a new style of marching band, to marching with the Gettysburg College Band, to 43 years of watching the Autumn Leaf Parade with kids and now grandkids. And then there are those traditional parades that mark holidays, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I'm not sure I've missed it in my lifetime. Or the Rose Bowl Parade on New Year's Day. Professor Harold Hill was right. Nothing like 76 trombones to kick off a good celebration. And so as we begin the holiest week of the year for the church, it's not a surprise that we kick it off with a good parade. But there were actually two parades in Jerusalem that day. There was the politically sanctioned parade, the official return of Pilate from his winter headquarters. The timing was not accidental. It was to coincide with the Jewish celebration of the Passover. This was a troubling time for those occupation folks. Anything could happen when you bring in hundreds of Jews from the outside. And the fervor of remembering Passover and deliverance doesn't bode well for an oppressor. And so Pilate came with force. You can imagine the pomp and circumstance of that parade, the eagle banners of Rome flying, Roman legions armed to the teeth. The message was very clear. My Jewish brothers and sisters, beware. Rome is still in charge. Don't mess with us, or it will end badly. You think about storming the Capitol? It won't work. Chill. And so you can imagine how that political establishment must have reacted to the other parade. It strikes us as a strange parade, Jesus riding into Jerusalem on a donkey. But it couldn't have been more controversial. For as he rode in on the donkey, it wasn't a sign of humility. It was a sign of kingship. For on the day of coronation, that's how the kings of Israel came to town to receive the crown, on a donkey. And the symbolism is not lost to those who gathered on the streets that day, where they greet him with palm branches waving and shouts of Hosanna. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. They're talking about nothing else than a new king in town. So you can imagine how King Herod must have felt when he got the news, or Pilate. Pilate's hold on his office was tenuous. He was not a very good procreator. Rome would easily have removed him if there had been any signs of trouble. And this was certainly brewing for a big one. And so really, as you analyze politically what was going on, it's not a surprise to find that Jesus ends up at the end of the week being executed as a political prisoner, as a revolutionary, as an insurrectionist. And the same crowds that shouted, Hosanna, are now shouting, crucify him, crucify him. It's a stark warning to us about pinning our hopes and our dreams on messiahs, on kings, on political leaders. In the end, we are a fickle people, and we can turn on them in an instant, and they can fail. As we enter this Holy Week, I ask you to ponder, what are your expectations of this Jesus? For your life, for the life of the world? And what kind of a parade do you envision joining behind this Jesus? Have a blessed Holy Week, and we'll see you at the cross. Amen.